Really exciting, a good turnout for a cloudy Thursday evening in Dublin. Hope you all had a good day at work. And if you didn't, you're about to have a much better day with us. So really looking forward to that. My name is Siwa. By daytime, I am a software engineer. And when I knock off from that, I am the career lead at the African Professional Network of Ireland. I'm going to be moderating today's session and moderating the panel. We are joined by Julia Power, who is the talent acquisition partner at LinkedIn, and Leon Nassenboomer, who is the talent attraction partner at LinkedIn, and Dane Daly, who is the talent acquisition sourcing partner at LinkedIn. It's quite an exciting lineup ahead of people who are experts in talent acquisition and people who work with talent and work on the LinkedIn profile, and myself, who is a bit of a novice at LinkedIn. So really excited to see what the day has ahead. And I think we can get to the next slide now. Alrighty, so I'm going to briefly go over what we can expect from today. So we're going to do a brief introduction of why we're here, what this is, and what the career day is, and then we're gonna go through a Rock Your Profile workshop delivered exclusively by LinkedIn, and Julia's gonna take us through that. Thank you so much, Julia, for being a part of this day. And then we're gonna have a fireside chat with the four of us discussing everything personal branding and how you can use it to leverage your next career move. And then we're gonna open it up to you. What are your questions? What are some of the things that you have to ask about the Rock Your Profile workshops? What are some of the things you want to know about personal branding? And then we're going to close it off. But that's not the end, because this is the first of a series of 3 events. So we're looking forward to seeing you again. So we are the African Professional Network of Ireland. We are a volunteer-run community, and our goal really is to help African professionals here in Ireland take ownership of and thrive in their careers. We are over 2,000 members, which is incredibly exciting. APNI was founded in 2016 and has been growing stronger and stronger every year. And we want to foster connection, empowerment, and collaboration amongst African professionals and allies in Ireland. I myself moved to Ireland a year ago, and being able to find community and build community and contribute to that community has been incredibly satisfying for me. So today we are here as a part of the APNI Career Day that is taking place on the 13th of October. You may have seen about it on the sign-up page when you sign up for this workshop. And just to hear from us about what the Career Day is, it is a combination of a career fair, but also with career development workshops and fireside chats and a keynote from top execs. So it goes beyond connecting you with recruiters and really provides you with the resources to grow in your career. So whether you're looking for a mentor, whether you're looking for conversations around conversations around performance, stepping into leadership, or you're just looking to find out what other companies are doing and what they have to offer, the APNI Career Day is perfect for you. It is brought to you in partnership with our partner sponsor, LinkedIn, and around 14 companies here in Ireland that we've partnered with to bring you this event. We have companies from a broad range of industries, so whether it's finance or whether you're in health tech or fintech or technology as just tech, got a broad range of companies for you. So we're looking forward to seeing you on the 13th of October. There will be good food, good music, lots of opportunities. And that is the APNI Career Day. And next slide. Yeah, so I'm going to hand over to Julia, who has an amazing presentation on how to rock your LinkedIn profile and how to take your LinkedIn profile to the next level. Thank you once again, Julia, for being a part of our workshop here. And I'm going to hand it over to you.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm so excited to be facilitating our Rock Your Profile workshop with you. So really what this is, it's a program that we run at LinkedIn to help you build your profile, tell your professional story, and really connect to opportunity on LinkedIn. So again, my name is Julia. I'm a TA acquisition partner at LinkedIn, which is a recruiter. And I recruit for our early career sales roles in EMEA and LATAM. And also just can't wait to welcome you all to our office on the 13th. Really looking forward to that event, the Career Day event at LinkedIn. So with that, before we dive in, I want to just set the agenda, set some expectations here. So we're going to start really quickly with a get to know LinkedIn. We're going to go over some profile basics, some profile pro tips. And then beyond that profile, how you can really create opportunity at LinkedIn. It's going to be over the next 20 or so minutes before we jump into that fireside chat. So we're going to kick it off with what is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is all about your professional community and helping you connect to that opportunity. So how does LinkedIn create value for you? That's really answered within our value proposition, which is to connect to opportunity. So with that could be whatever opportunity means for you. Does that mean finding a new job? Does that mean building a community? Does that mean building your professional brand? Really, it's what you can make of it. So while LinkedIn isn't the end all be all solution, we can help you connect to that opportunity through leveraging your profile. So with that, we'll start there. Again, some of these are basics, but really important things that we'd like to share with you. So first off, your LinkedIn profile is a digital portfolio that represents you and helps you tell your professional story. It's not a digital resume, right? It's way more dynamic than that. It's supposed to be engaging, visual, highlights your experience, and helps you really expand your professional presence. So again, we're going to start with the basics, but it's really important because you can see the impact here. Adding a photo to your profile has huge impact. You're 9 times more likely to get connection requests, 21 more times likely to get profile views, 36 times more likely to get messages. So your profile picture does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be professional. As you saw on my headshot, it's with an office dog that I worked with, not my own dog, sadly. But it can really just describe who you are, as long as it's high resolution, is your face, and is bright. But a cool thing about the LinkedIn editing photo here is that you can actually increase the brightness. You can add filters to help really make that look a little bit more professional. Next, another kind of basic here, but you can use on the mobile app, you can actually record your name. So if you'd like to show how you correctly pronounce your name, you can add that there. And it also just helps add that voice and helps add that vibrancy to your profile. Another thing that helps add your voice is by displaying your pronouns. So 72% of hiring managers actually agree that this shows respect. So feel free to add those on there in the edit intro section. And I'm zooming through these because we have a lot of content. But the next one, which is a really cool feature that I think is underutilized, is you can create a profile video. So you also do this on the mobile app. And it's a great way to, give a really quick 30-second pitch, or maybe say who you're trying to connect with, what community you're trying to build. If there's a job you're looking for, have it on there, or really just say hi to the people that are connecting with you. So again, it's on the mobile app, and you just click onto your photo, and it's an option there for you to, again, add a little bit more color to your profile. Also, if you are to post something, when people see your name on their feed, it actually has a blue circle around your name, which is really enticing. So maybe you'll get somebody to click on and learn a little bit more about you. This one is actually really important in terms of when you're looking for jobs or looking for somebody to connect with you. This is to add your industry. So here is, you just add it in your profile section there, and you add your industry. So if you were looking for jobs in financial services, for example, or if you were looking for people to connect with in financial services, you could add your industry there. And as it says, you're 9 times more likely to get profile views, and more than 300,000 people search by industry on LinkedIn every week, including all of our sourcing and recruiting staff here at LinkedIn. So members with that industry information are discovered up to 38 times more in recruiter searches, So really important, really simple, just making sure that your profile is built to optimize you to opportunity. Another one that you might be familiar with is showing that you're open to work. So if you're looking for a new opportunity, LinkedIn allows you to add that to your job preferences at the top of your profile. So you can click open to, and then you can select finding a new job or whatever it is that you're open to. And then you can also really specify which type of job you're looking for. So when I was looking for jobs, I was able to say jobs with the title of recruiter, talent acquisition, talent sourcing. And then I was also to say that I was looking for full-time and that I was looking for something hybrid. So you really can, like if you're looking for remote roles, if you're looking for a certain title or a couple different titles, you can add that in there. And then you can either share with all of the LinkedIn members as an option when it comes to sharing and publishing that. And that's when you see that green circle around your photo. But if you want to not include that on your profile photo, you can actually just say share with recruiters only. And that way it's privately shared with recruiters within LinkedIn Recruiter, and those people that would be hoping to fill their jobs with hopefully you. Okay, so this one, getting more into it here. This drafting summary, really this is the about section. This is your elevator pitch. So try to include something, that highlights your accomplishments, maybe says what you're looking for, maybe tells a little bit about yourself. You can be creative here, and it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be extensive. Don't put your whole resume in this section. But it is important to think about if you make it 40 plus words, it actually makes your profile more likely to turn up in a future employee's search. So just another thing to add. I know these are kind of basic, but really important steps that you want to make sure you're not missing out on. Here's a little bit of an extra one around featured content. So this section here, it makes it so that you can feature things that are really important to you, maybe something you want to be a thought leader on, maybe you want to add this to your personal branding. You can actually feature it in the top of your profile, and it's a bit like a carousel. You can also add your own rich media to that. So if there's, if you didn't post it on LinkedIn, but there's a photo of you and maybe volunteer work that you do, and you want to just put that picture in there so people, like when they go in there, it's easily found and it tells your story, add that. So I use the word rich media, and what that means is it's a photo, a video, or anything else that's a little bit more like dynamic. So we highly recommend to use rich media throughout your profile just to bring that vibrancy and that interactive piece, that visual piece to your profile. Again, this featured content, it doesn't have to be your own content. It doesn't have to be things that you've published. It can be things that you've reposted, something that whatever really speaks to you. And if you want it to be kind of associated to your brand and to your profile. Also, I know I'm going through this quite quickly. If you have any questions, we have some people in the chat to answer those. And I will also, try to answer any questions later on in the talk, but just want to get through some of this content here. So thanks for your patience. So now diving into your work experience. So here we see a lot of people turn to bullet points, which isn't really what we would recommend for you to do. Here you would want to really tell your story through maybe short paragraphs. So it should read like a story. It shouldn't be your full bullet points, but at the same time you want it so if somebody goes into your profile, they have a sense of what you did or where you worked. So it's also important to keep this work experience up to date. So up to date experience is 5 times more likely to get connection requests, 8 times more likely to get profile views, etc. So really important to keep this updated. Add that rich media in there where you can, just by when you push edit, you can add media. And that can be your own media, that can be company media, whatever you want to kind of bring that to life. So again, just adding in those drop downs, really important again to just use that paragraph format. Think about it of how you would want to read it. Now, something else to add to your timeline, really. So career breaks are getting more and more common. According to a recent survey, 62% of people globally and 64% of women have taken a career break. And like I said, it's becoming a lot more common. So 51% of hiring managers say that they're more likely to contact an applicant that's provided some context to their career break. So this is a great thing to add to your experience, just, you know, as you would for any other job. But now you have the option to add that career break. Add a sentence or two, what you did, you know, whether that's maternity or paternity leave, or taking care of someone as a caregiver, or volunteer or travel, whatever it is, you know, it's a part of your story, and it's a great way to really, you know, showcase that. Also really cool, but majority, I think it's half of hiring managers view career breaks, if they are volunteers, volunteer work, as equivalent to work experience. So, you know, if your career break was a volunteer experience, that's, you know, really important to add on there. You don't want to miss out on that. Similar to career breaks, you can just add a volunteer experience on your timeline or on your detailed work experience as well. So if you do something like that, either way, just add a couple sentences to explain what you did, maybe what you learned. Next up, another important thing for when people are trying to find you or connect with you, or if you want more people to view your profile, is to add skills. So members who add 5 or more skills receive up to 17 times more profile views. So it's really important for you to think about what skills are relevant to whatever you are looking for opportunity on in LinkedIn, whether that's a job, whether that's promoting your personal brand. Think about that when you select your skills. And another cool thing about this section is that you can really cater it to you. You can reorganize your skills to showcase the ones featured. So, you know, if there's skills associated with a job or an industry that you're looking to get into, reorganize your skills to have those on top. Otherwise, I think it's default to just, you know, by the time you put it in. And another cool thing that you can do is that you can endorse, and you can request certain people to endorse you on certain things. So it's not just random, you know, it's really people that have worked with you, for example, on like time management or project management. So that's another really important one. That's something that our sourcing team definitely searches by. And then lastly, in, you know, thinking of that endorsement is you can do that more formally by requesting a recommendation. So this is often featured at the bottom of your profile there, where you can request someone that you've worked with closely to give you a bit of a recommendation there. Some things that we would recommend is always customize your requests. Make sure that the person is comfortable, you know, giving you that recommendation, that they know exactly what you want them to talk about. So sometimes you can do a first pass of what you would like them to touch on. So whether that was a project that you wanted them to highlight, or a job that you worked with them on, or it's certain characteristics that you want them to kind of speak to, the more you kind of help them with what you want to say, the more likely you're going to have a strong recommendation that really helps tell your story. So now that your profile is, 2.0 version, you want to make sure that you don't forget about a couple little things like location. That's another thing that people would be searching by. Education, and dependent on your, how recent your education was or how relevant that is, you can move it from the top or to the bottom of the profile. Any publications, any accomplishments, just things like that you probably already have on your profile. So that's your profile is top notch. It has all of those things we talked about. Say you are looking to maybe reach a wider net of people. Maybe you're looking to engage with an audience, really share your content, build a community. You can actually change your profile settings to activate the creator mode. So this creator mode, again, is great for people that are looking to reach a larger audience and really have a larger audience engage with their content. So it actually changes a couple things on your profile. So when you first when somebody first goes to your profile, instead of a connect button, it's going to actually change to a follow button. And then also, in addition, when they first see your profile, if you are a creator, they're going to see certain hashtags of areas that you like to talk about. So if you're trying to build your brand on talking about, the future of work, or talk about green economy, or talk about African Professionals Network in Ireland, you can add this hashtag so people know that that's really the conversations that you are having on your profile. And then it also shows how many followers you have. So it's an interesting way. It's a cool way to be kind of an influencer in your own community there. So again, you get to reach a larger audience. You get to showcase content front and center. It actually reorganizes your profile away from your work experience, and it showcases your content and the things that you're featuring on your profile. So it really just kind of showcases like that you are a thought leader in your areas. Another cool thing is that it makes you more searchable, I guess, when people are looking for other creators or other conversations. And it also gives you access to creator tips. So you would get a creator mode, insights to how to be, reach a larger audience. So in that same kind of thought, if you want to build that thought leadership on your profile, there's a couple ways of doing that. So the first way is by sharing updates or publishing posts. And I'll tell you the difference between those two things quickly. So updates are really about like sharing links, articles, images, reposting things, when publishing is more about deeply exploring topics that matter to you. So looking into just really quickly about sharing status updates, you probably do it already. You just create a post and go from there. So some just best practices around there. Really best practice for interacting with LinkedIn at all is sharing your authentic voice, posting frequently. One tip that you could, maybe walk away with if you are looking to build that thought leadership is just put a reminder on your calendar, maybe once a week, saying post something on LinkedIn, and whether that be your own content, whether that be your own question that you're posing your community, or just reposting something that you saw. But that frequency is important in building that community. Also, start that conversation, maybe pose a question to your community. That engagement is really important and also helps you, followers find you and you find followers. And then that keyword again, that rich media piece, photos, videos definitely really help with that engagement. And then lastly, think about an opportunity for reciprocity. So really what that means is just like, how can you give to your community that you're creating? Is there an opportunity that you saw that you can share with your community? Think about that and when you're creating those connections. And then now moving quickly to the publishing on LinkedIn. pretty similar, right? Similar best practices, but this is a little bit of a deeper dive. It actually becomes a part of your profile, gets shared with your network, and it gets shared with the larger LinkedIn community of professionals. So really when you're posting, or excuse me, publishing, I'm going to go back here. It's in that section, but see that write an article on the right-hand side there? That's what you would click on. So with that, it's similar in that, you know, you should be using rich media, you should be authentic, you should be thinking about your audience. But furthermore, you're going to have to think about a headline that captures attention, and also think about length of article. So you don't want it to be too long, you don't want it to be too short. I would say like 600 to 1,000 words would be appropriate. But that's just a way of really showing your expertise. If you're an expert on something, or if you really want to dive into a topic, this is a great option for you. And then another cool thing about publishing is that it actually allows you to track your progress. So you would have access to all of these really cool analytics where when you say view stats, it shows you, you know, the targeted professionals that you're reaching, who you're reaching. And then, you know, if you're doing this often, you can really track your progress to see what content resonates with your professional community. So really cool that you would have access to this when publishing content. And then with that, you know, when you're thinking about your community, when you're thinking about ways to gain and share knowledge, one thing you can do is follow companies, maybe follow nonprofits, follow organizations that you think would, you know, you would benefit from, that you would learn from. So definitely recommend doing that, following some to see what their content is. And then similarly, you know, following influencers, following thought leaders, maybe engaging with their content, and seeing, you know, if there's a community that you can build from there. So with that also, you know, when you follow all these people and make all these connections, it's really important to think about customizing your feed. You want your feed to reflect your personal brand, your professional brand, the community you're trying to build. So definitely important, like if you're coming across content that you think is spammy or you don't really are getting a lot out of, you can always click on the 3 dots at the top of the post, and you can either unfollow them or say that you're not interested in that content, because really the whole point of this, you know, from building your profile to sharing your story to, you know, building your professional brand, is to open yourself to opportunity, open yourself to connection. So you want to make sure that you have a customized feed where you can do that and you can achieve that. So as I said, I know I just ran through that. Rock Your Profile is sometimes an hour and a half long, so I just did it in 22 minutes. So if you have any questions, we can try to answer them throughout the fireside chat or afterwards. But for now, I'm going to pass it off to Sewa to move into the next part of our workshop today.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for that, Julia. Just double checking that I'm not on mute. Yeah, thank you so much. That was a really great session and I really enjoyed that. The part around posting LinkedIn content really resonated with me because it's actually a huge part of how I got my role here at Meta. So when I was in South Africa, there was a time when I was really unhappy with my role and I didn't really feel like I was growing in the current role that I was in. And one of the things that really became a great safe space for my career was blogging and sharing my content and experiences on LinkedIn. I'd share like coding videos. I used to share like tutorials on LinkedIn. And what that did is that it really exposed me to opportunities beyond my current company. And it allowed me to have a career that expands beyond what was in my immediate horizon. And that's why I'm so like passionate about people setting up LinkedIn profiles, advocating for your work, sharing your work. And it can be awkward, you know, to just be like, hey, I've got this content, but it really allows you to have a career outside of your current role and have opportunities outside of what's available to you, possibly within your own company. And that really does put the power of your growth and your career back in your hands. But anyway, I digress.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna now welcome in Leon and Dane. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. It's good to have you both, and thank you so much for joining us on this day. Lovely Thursday. Said no one. And it's really good to see you all. So we are going to take a couple of questions from the audience, but before we quick start, Leon and Dane, would you guys quickly maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at LinkedIn, and then we'll get into the audience questions. We've got so many lovely questions coming in. You can start off with Dane.
Yeah, okay. Hello, everyone. So I'm Dane, and my role at LinkedIn, as you can see on the screen there, is a talent acquisition sourcing partner, which is, like Julia mentioned, a recruiter. I focus on the passive market, so sort of like headhunting for difficult to fill roles, and I use the platform to really search in detail on people's profiles and find, that perfect match for what we're looking for. So I've been doing that for about 5 years now, and I've been at LinkedIn for a year. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I'll pass on to you, Leon.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, Leon, the titles at LinkedIn are mouthful. So I'm a talent attraction partner at LinkedIn, which means that I work with the recruitment marketing team, running campaigns and events such as this one similar to this one, to make LinkedIn be the employer of choice for the candidates and prospects we would like to interact with. So happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, glad you can all see our panelists now. So our first question is for Dane. As a talent sourcing partner, what are the important things that recruiters are looking to spot in a profile?
Yeah.
So what are the key things for you?
So, like Julia mentioned, it was one of our first points. LinkedIn is not, an online resume. It's how you want to be perceived in your network that you've, chosen to connect with. So if I'm a recruiter going onto someone's profile, I want to see the role that they're in and what they're doing. And I saw some questions float around the chat about, detail and gaps and stuff. So it's really up to you. So we want to know a little bit about what you do in your day-to-day role, just to understand if it's a fit for kind of what we're looking for, and also some of the things that you've accomplished. So yeah, some keywords, you're going to know the keywords kind of for your industry, and that'll kind of make your profile findable. And then we want to see that you've kind of made it personal, added your accomplishments, and also added some things there that you're passionate about, and give us a sense of who you are. Because we're not just looking for someone to do the job, we're looking for the right person to join our company, and I think every company is the same in that sense.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for that. So let your personality shine out, and I think share your accomplishments. I think this can be quite hard for some people, but how are we going to know you're a star if you don't tell us?
Exactly. you mentioned it there a minute ago, say that you kind of feel nervous about what you're putting out there, and honestly, everyone gets that imposter syndrome about the media they're putting out there and posting. And do you know what? Just embrace it. Like everyone else is doing it too, and just let yourself shine, because it will pay dividends.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. And we have another question for Leon here. How can I raise my professional brand so that I'm viewed or seen as a thought leader? All right. So how do I step into that position where?
Great question for Leon, I must say.
So Julia, I'm currently trying to break into the thought leadership space. So Julia gave a couple of tips already there, which are fantastic. But the way that I like to speak about LinkedIn, and the way that the possibilities that LinkedIn offers are such. First of all, obviously, you're going to have your profile complete after this amazing session, but then you can start using LinkedIn by consuming content. Then you can engage with content through reactions, likes, and etc. And then comments. Usually, a terminology that I learned the other day. Your comments on LinkedIn should be value-driven comments. So it's not about fantastic, congratulations, well done, love it. You're missing an opportunity to be a thought leader right there. And then after that, it's about updates, as Julia shared, and then publishing content. The thought leadership space is really occupied by folks that are publishing content, that are sharing their opinions on the platform, sometimes controversial opinions, but they are the ones driving the conversations. They are the folks that you see that get a lot of engagement because in some shape or form they spark that desire and curiosity and desire for people to comment on their posts. And there is an amazing list that LinkedIn creates every single year called LinkedIn Top Voice list around many different industries, around a couple of different countries. And they're a great way for you to be inspired by folks like you and me, literally, that had no presence on LinkedIn and they started to post consistently, started to drive conversations, and then suddenly LinkedIn looked at them and said, wow, you're a top voice, you are driving conversations, we consider you a thought leader. And a thought leader doesn't have to have a massive following. A thought leader doesn't even have to be that consistent with their posts. You're gonna see that. But a thought leader has to be driving conversations, has to be sharing their opinions, and has to be adding value to their community. That's what I would say. So LinkedIn Top Voices, the prizes started to be given on, I think, 2016. So if you are patient enough, you can go back to 2016 all the way up until 2022 and just see, who they are and what they did to become part of that, to be part of that list.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that, Leon. And Julia, would you have some nuggets in addition to that?
Yeah, I think it's just everybody should think about what opportunity they want, right? How they want to use their LinkedIn, and really cater it to that. There's so many things. Like, I've also gotten a job out of being engaged on different comments, and now I'm finding talent. So I've had different interactions with it, and starting to see more of that creator space, more of that really like insightful conversations going on, which I am personally excited about. So really think about what you want to get out of it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And maybe I can also share here from my back in the day. So one thing that I started with when I was trying to get into the thought leader space, I didn't successfully enter, but what I did is I'd go to a meetup and I'd take a picture and I'd share some of my lessons, and then I'd ask people a question, and I'd be posting pictures. So that's visually grabbing. It creates a sense of community and a little bit of FOMO. And I'd also tag, for example, the community that was doing the event. So today you're at an APNI event. So if you tag us on LinkedIn, all of our LinkedIn community, they get visibility on it, right? So you're not just relying on your immediate community, you're pulling in traction from that other community. And that other community, because they want people to do that, right? They want people to speak about their events. They're also more than happy to reshare, which adds a little bit to your visibility. So you can actually leverage these existing communities. The other thing I used to do is I blogged. And I think that sometimes we get scared because blogging means that you have to do like a thesis on how you change the world. And sometimes it can just be some simple lessons that you've made for the day, some, interesting little nuggets that you have as a takeaway. And it doesn't have to completely be new information, but it has to add value in that moment, right? Because I may not be thinking about it now when I see it, but when I see it, it adds something to me. So yeah, those are just some of the other nuggets. And we have now a question from the audience, right? And it is, what would you suggest a student in their early career, what would be more ideal to share for their personal brand? And I think I may have answered this a little bit in terms of like attending community stuff. But do you guys have anything else to add in terms of like early professionals who may not be able to share some of the really big stuff?
Yeah, I can kick it off because I recruit for some early career sales. I would say just like being really thoughtful about like how you're reaching out to people, how you're building that community. So not just connecting with people to connect, but like giving them a reason why, you know, you came across their profile, and continuing that engagement with them. And then like Leon was touching to, like if you are, you know, commenting, if you are engaging, like for your voice to be out there, for you to share insights beyond just, you know, liking or clapping or laughing. So just being engaged in that way, using things like when you connect with someone, always add a note, you know, use your voice a little bit more on the platform in all of the little ways. So yeah, that's just quick nuggets. If Leanne or Dane want to add something.
Yeah, I might just add something to that, and it's kind of going back to your Rock Your Profile session and the subject of like what industry and stuff you should add. So like if you add, you know, that industry that you wish to kind of break into to your profile, and you'll kind of get suggested to connect with other profiles in the same industry, and you can kind of build yourself up a little network there, and you know, those people will see your posts and engage with them and have conversations. And you can also, you know, direct message people, you know, maybe in companies in the industry that you want to work in, and just try to network with them in that sense. And yeah, I've seen people have done the same to me, and I've done the same to others, and people are pretty engaging on the platform and are happy to kind of help. And you know, with that, you'll get suggestions on kind of what to talk about. And yeah, so it's helpful.
So awesome, thank you. So our next question is on for Julia, the topic of career breaks. So we in the Rock Your Profile talked about adding career breaks, and so some people were wondering, if I go and I do my master's, in terms of my professional work experience, do I leave that gap for 2 or 4 years when I did my master's, or do I add that as a career break, right? So what's the best way to communicate that to recruiters without looking like I went on a 4-year holiday?
I'm gonna pull up my profile on my own just to remind me what I did, because I just studied for a year at UCB SmartFit. So mine is in my experience. When I was plugging in my education, it just came into my experience, maybe because it's a master's program, I'm not sure. But however you want your timeline to look in your work experience, like if you find that it looks too gapped and your education is all the way at the bottom or in the beginning and then it's not showcased there, you can also repeat information. So I think that my graduate student is in my it's in my education and in my experience, just because I think that I saw that there was a gap and I was like, that's not true. So you can repeat information, whether you want to put that as a career gap or you want to put as an experienced graduate student, you can do that as well. So I have it on both. It's really up to you. But yeah, don't be shy to repeat information on your profile.
Yeah.
Are you the same, Sewa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I might just add to that really quickly as well. That it's how you want to be perceived, you know, your profile, and take a look at, you know, some of your peers. Take a look at people around in your industry and see what they've done, and see, you know, oh, does that look good to me? Is that how I want to be perceived? And make that choice yourself.
Yeah, good point.
So we have another question from the audience, and it's around when you want to transition industries, right? So let's say I'm working in tech and now I want to get into finance, right? So how do I reposition myself on my LinkedIn profile to be able to attract recruiters from the industry that I want to leap into and not the industry that I'm currently in, right? So how do I set myself up for success there? And I'm gonna I'll direct that to Dane.
This is something I done actually after about 2.5 years in my career. I was working for a recruitment agency in the construction industry. And yeah, I saw, you know, the bright lights of the tech industry and the free food and all of that good stuff that comes along with it. I saw that, and yeah, and wanted to kind of, yeah, be part of a big industry like tech. So like the steps I made, I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I just, you know, started to connect with recruiters and people that were in the position that I wanted to be in, or maybe people that I thought were hired for those positions. So recruitment managers, recruiters, and, you know, like say, well, if it's in your case, you know, you could connect with software development managers or other software development engineers, and, you know, in different companies that maybe you're interested in, and just network that way. And, you know, if you're posting and creating content, and even commenting on things, you know, work anniversaries of theirs, they'll see your profile and they'll recognize it. And, you know, that next time that they are hiring, they'll be like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a better chance for them to notice your profile and maybe reach out to you. Or
Yeah. Thank you for
and
that.
let me just add that I'm sure if you want to change jobs and if you want to change industries, I'm sure that you are putting some work towards it. You are getting, you know, either proper qualification or you are doing e-learning courses. So make sure you showcase those skills there. But also, one thing that helped me change industries was work on my passion projects, because I didn't have the opportunity to get the experience in the professional environment. So the job that I have today at LinkedIn in recruitment marketing is without any marketing background whatsoever. It was just based on my experience in recruitment, obviously, but then my ability to acquire marketing skills and content creation skills through my passion projects that I then was able to share on LinkedIn and showcase on LinkedIn. Because of showcasing that content on LinkedIn and my work, the manager of my team, I kept top of mind for the manager of my team. And once they had a job, they had an opening, he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be part of that recruitment process. So if that's possible for you, depending on the industry that you want to join, craft your job, make the opportunity for yourself, find a way to develop that skill, and then use LinkedIn to showcase that.
Alrighty, awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Leon. So we're going to take one more question from the chat, and then what we're going to do is we're going to open it up to everyone to join in and ask your questions yourself. So if you have a question and you're able to raise your hand or ask in the chat, we're going to open it up to you. So I'm going to ask one more question, but get your question ready to raise your hand on the Zoom so that you can share your question with the panelists. So the question is, work experience when you are switching careers, right? So maybe again moving from tech to finance. What's my work experience there, and how do I gauge whether I'm someone who has 4 years of experience, or if I'm marketing myself as someone who has 1 year of experience, right? So what's a way to play it so that I don't downplay my current skills?
Real quick, I think there's a lot of conversations around skills-based hiring. So that's something that you could maybe search in your LinkedIn, get involved with that content. But there's a lot to be said around transferable skills. And just because you're not from that industry or necessarily have that like professional work experience, if you can showcase that you have those skills that are, you know, the basic requirements of the role, that's great. Like, shout that from the rooftops, put that in your about page, use that in your profile video, you know, share that content around skills-based, maybe find an article about it, post and say, I have these skills, like it doesn't matter anymore, future of work, you know, join those conversations, because it really is, you know, some roles, you know, if you're a doctor, yeah, just don't let that discourage you if you're really trying to switch a career.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I think the key lesson is don't undersell yourself, right? You have some transferable skills, so don't undersell yourself. Alrighty, awesome. So we are now gonna take some questions from the audience. If anyone has a question that they'd like to share with the audience, now's the time. You may raise your hand. Edima, I see you have your hand raised. You may raise your hand and we'll elect a speaker, just so that everyone doesn't go on unmute at the same time. Yeah, let's go ahead, Edima.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, guys, for the insightful contributions. I know earlier on, Julia, you were sharing some tools on LinkedIn about analytics, right? And I know that LinkedIn also has algorithms. So can you tell me when is the best time to post so I can get as much visibility on my article? I mean, when you put in a lot of work to write all of that, you want to put it out there at the right time, you know?
So the best time to post varies, depends on the industry and depends heavily on your audience, which will be the first ones to see what you're posting. And if the post is engaging and your, let's say, your first degree audience gets to interact with it, that's probably when LinkedIn will distribute to everyone else. But it's when your audience is online, when your industry is online, it's when you should post. Said that, what we do in marketing is we test, right? Keep posting, keep testing, get the results, and based on that, you make your informed decision when is the best time for you. Sorry, I don't have a definite answer.
Thanks for going around the question, but yeah.
I'm still, I'm still testing, and the thing is, things change as well, right? With your audience, with the fact that a lot of people are working from home, so times that used to be good for me are not anymore. I changed the type of content that I'm posting as well, so the public changes. So the more you create and the more you test it, the quicker you're gonna have that answer.
Just don't do it on a Friday evening like I did for a recent post of mine. That was bleak. Nobody's on LinkedIn Friday evening.
Great tip, great tip.
Yeah.
Friday evening is a tough one.
Yeah. A good day to experiment with, and what I've heard, is Thursday morning. I've heard that that's generally like a good rule of day to kind of try to post. That's just the theory that I heard from a friend of a friend.
Yeah. There are a lot of studies out there, made by companies. It's hard for us to comment as LinkedIn employees, so I don't want to, people leave in the call and say, "Wow, but Leon said that," so that's why I'm walking around the answer as well. But there are a lot of very good and interesting studies around posting, and they are segmented by industry. They tell days of the week and etc. But in general, social media, including LinkedIn and other channels, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. That's where you should explore. Tuesday and Wednesday are probably the peak. Thursday, depending on the industry as well. So
yeah, awesome. If anyone has any questions, we're about 6 minutes up. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. And my question was around, so we're doing the career fair on the 13th of October, right? The career day on the 13th of October, and we're going to have amazing companies, and there's going to be quite a few people there, right? How do I stand out on that day, right? How do I make sure that I can stand out? And I know that LinkedIn is doing some cool stuff where people will be able to take their profile picture, your LinkedIn profile picture. So fun fact, if you come to the career day, you'll be able to take your profile picture, which will help you with your profile. But
that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm personally looking forward to it because my profile picture is from like 2018.
wow.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So when you're sharing your details with your recruiters, a lot of people don't realize this, but you can also recruiters can sometimes just look for your LinkedIn, right? So what are one of the things that at the career day, with having an updated and great LinkedIn profile, what are one of the ways that could actually work in your favor? Especially because in that day, there's going to be like hundreds of people. Like, how will your LinkedIn profile actually help you stand out? I'm opening this to everyone.
Yeah, so what I think is, once you've kind of met people at the career fair and you've had a conversation with them and they've really got a sense of kind of, who you are and stuff, likely, you know, take a look at your LinkedIn profile, and it's great if that's a true reflection of that person that they've met, then, you know, they've kind of shown the things that they're interested in. I think that's a, you know, it's like they're just confirming again that the person that they've met. And
Yes.
yeah, so
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
goes back to, you know, that kind of have make your profile a kind of really true
Yeah.
representation of yourself.
Yeah, and the LinkedIn app has like a scan thing, right, where you can just scan someone's profile. So if you have the actual app and you're not on the web, it allows you to connect with other people too. So you can really broaden your network by just scanning without having to take someone's phone and type your name there. So that's one of the cool features for networking. We have someone who has their name, their hand raised, and that's Carmen. Carmen, you may go off mute and share your question with our panelists.
Ready? I just have I'm a student. I just graduated for my undergrad bachelor's honors, and I'm going in September to do my master's. So in other words, when I'm gonna be graduating, I wouldn't have any experience in obviously engineering sector. Like, what advice would you give for someone like me? Would you advise me to look for for jobs now for when I graduate, or just focus on studies? Or like, what are the tips that you could give me, like the advice that you could give me for someone that straight from undergrad is going to like a master's?
Saywa, take it away. You're the engineer in the room.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of engineer.
You're a software engineer.
But I find a few things that helped me when I was very entry level is I would write blogs about some of the tools that I'm using. So one of the things is you can take a LinkedIn course. So if you take the course on LinkedIn, that course is actually attached to your LinkedIn profile. And that's kind of one of the ways you kind of show enthusiasm. You show that I'm not really sure how it works in other industries, but in tech is very big on like personal projects, right? Going above and beyond. And taking those LinkedIn courses. Yes, you can take courses on other platforms, but if you take that course on LinkedIn, it gets attached to your profile, even after you've long forgotten about it. So that's one of the ways that one of the things that you can do when you maybe don't have experience. You can share those courses. If you follow a tutorial and they teach you certain things, let's say, for example, you're following a Coursera, like a LinkedIn video, a LinkedIn tutorial, and it's like a 12-part series. You can write a blog just summarizing it, right? Summarizing your experiences, summarizing your learnings, and other people who may be interested, let's say, in a similar topic, but don't want to take the course, they can at least get an overview of some of the key parts of it. And those are some of the things that you can actually add to boost and plump up your profile so that it stands out to recruiters. And those are some of the ways you can actually attract talent to yourself. And in terms of the question of, should I be job hunting or should I be prioritizing my studies? I'd say do both where you can. Right, rocking your profile. This session was like 30 an hour. If you go and you watch that again and then you implement some of those things, you can spend a good 30 minutes rocking your profile. If you take a course, even at school, right, you're learning something. If you write little notes summarizing one interesting thing that you've learned, right? Let's say you take an ethics course. That's something that is engineering related, but is attractive to everyone because you're doing like ethics in engineering. It's something that maybe more people can relate to, right? And you share that blog on LinkedIn, right? When you update your profile to look like that, you don't have to invest a lot of time job hunting because the jobs are gonna more likely come to you because you stand out. Companies do have graduate recruiters who are using LinkedIn who do want you. So instead of trying to find 20 companies, rock your profile and find like companies finding you. And that is not a sponsored post.
Yeah, and then I want to like follow up on that. I know it's a topic that people kind of like avoid, but in terms of salary, I know for like the graduates program, right?
Mm-hmm.
An undergrad is going to start at a different level than a master's student. Is it like a good thing to talk about it during the recruitment process about like that like the remuneration kind of like it's more for like the recruitment team. Like if they would, like if it's something that they see often, like master students being paid more than the undergrad, and if it's actually a good thing to request for that when you're going into a graduate program as a master student, like someone that has a master.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for us to touch on those details just because it's different for every grad program, but you know, that's something that you know, would be dependent on the recruiting process for whatever company or, you know, industry you're in. But yeah, I think Sewa had some really good tips, at least in gaining that experience and gaining that kind of credibility, at least.
Yeah. It's a really hard conversation to navigate, and it's gonna, even per industry, right? Tech is a bit more open. There's more salary stats out there you can compare. You can go to many places to compare. Other industries, I couldn't even begin to tell you. So you'd have to play it by ear and play it strategically as far as you can. And maybe even, for example, if you're on LinkedIn, your profile's great, you could try to find a mentor in your industry. Try to find someone that you can talk to, and if you build that connection with them, you can maybe ask them if they're in your particular industry. They might be able to give you more relevant information, and even per location, right? So most of my job hunting was in Joburg and Cape Town, which is so different from how it would be in Dublin. And just on that note, we are 33 minutes in, so we're 3 minutes late. So we're gonna have to close off. But before we say our goodbyes, we are doing a feedback survey. We want to do this again with you, to host you again. And we want to know what you thought of the event, how it could be better, so that we can progressively make these events better for you. So chat on the chat. On the chat right now, there is a link to the feedback survey that's been shared, and you can use that feedback survey to let us know what you'd like to know, what you'd like to see at the next event. And with that, I'd also like to give a huge thank you to our panelists for being a part of this day. Thank you, Julia, Leon, and Dane, for taking time off of your work after work, not only to prepare for the session, but to be here and to candidly share your experiences, your lessons, and your thoughts. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys on 13th of October at the link where you work, where Dane currently is.
I'm here too. Can't wait to have you guys.
Yes. Righty. And with that said, for everyone still on the call, thank you all for staying. Thank you all for tuning in, for signing up to be a part of the APNI community. The next workshop is on the 29th of September, and it's going to be the same time, different link. And it's on CV preparation, and it's a career workshop. So we're going to be specifically talking about career moves, career transitions. So all those questions about your masters, how do you propose that, right? We're going to be having those types of conversations. So really exciting stuff coming up from the APNI community. And after that workshop, the main day is the APNI Career Day, which is taking place on the 13th of October. You can use that Scan Me link to find out more information. We're constantly updating the sign up page. So I know you guys have already signed up on the sign up page, but there's more information. It's getting updated in terms of the schedule, the companies that are joining. So stay tuned for more awesome stuff. And we will see you on the 29th of September, and then again in person on the 13th of October. Thank you so much. And remember to take our feedback survey.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great evening.
Everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Follow us on Instagram.
Bye.
Message everybody.